Good morning, students. Welcome back to yet another lecture from the course System Modeling and Simulation. So, this will be the second chapter, Random Variate Generation from Module 3. So, let us see what are the contents of this lecture. So, here in this lecture, I will be discussing about what is the meaning of random variate and different techniques for generating random variates. So, two broad categories of generating random variates are inverse transformation techniques, which are in turn classified as exponential distribution, uniform distribution, Weibull distribution, empirical continuous distribution. And the second category of generating random variates are acceptance resistance technique. So in the acceptance rejection technique for Poisson distribution is the one, and the second one is acceptance rejection technique for gamma distribution. So we will begin with these topics now. So let us start with random variate. So already we know the meaning of random variables in the last chapter. Here we have seen what is the meaning of random variables, random variables, important properties of random variables, and testing the for the acceptability of random variables, like using chi-square test and Kolmogorov-Smirnov test and autocorrelation also we have seen. So a random variate is nothing but a particular outcome of a random variable. We know random variable or static variable or stochastic variable is a variable whose value is subject to variations due to chance. So out of that, a random variate is a particular outcome of a random variable, right? So what is the purpose of this chapter? The purpose of this chapter is to explain and illustrate some widely used techniques for generating random variates. Techniques for generating random variates are broadly classified into two categories: inverse transformation technique and another is the acceptance rejection technique. All these techniques assume that a source of uniform random numbers is available from R1 to Rn, where each Ri has a probability density function, that is PDF 1 if the random variable lies from 0 to 1, 0 if it is otherwise, that is means minus infinity to plus infinity, and the cumulative distribution function CDF is 0 if x is lesser than 0, x if x lies between 0 and 1, 1 if x is greater than 1. So let us see what are the different techniques in the inverse transformation technique, right? So there are different procedures in the inverse transformation technique, such as exponential distribution, uniform distribution, triangular distribution, Weibull distribution, empirical continuous distribution, and continuous distributions without a closed form inverse. Last one being discrete distributions. Okay. So here there are a lot of characteristics or properties we need to remember for each of this distribution. So let us start with the first one, exponential distribution. So we know already the exponential distribution has a probability density function given by f of x is equal to lambda into e to the power of minus lambda x if x is greater than or equal to 0, 0 if x is lesser than 0. X is a random number here, where f of x represents the probability density function. The cumulative distribution function is given by f of x is equal to from minus infinity to x f of t dt is equal to 1 minus e to the power of lambda x if x is greater than or equal to 0, 0 if x is lesser than 0, right? The parameter lambda can be interpreted as the mean number of occurrences per unit time here. Notice for any I, e of xi is equal to 1 by lambda, so that 1 by lambda is a mean arrival time. The goal of the simulator here is to develop a procedure for generating the values x1, x2, x3 dash 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 which have an exponential distribution here. So let us see what is the procedure, what is a step-by-step procedure for the inverse transformation technique using exponential distribution. In the first step, we compute the CDF of the desired random variable using the formula f of x is equal to 1 minus e to the power of lambda x. If x is greater than or equal to 0. In the second step, we set f of x is equal to r in the range of x. For the exponential distribution, it comes 1 minus e to the power of lambda x is equal to r on a range x is greater than or equal to 0. Since x is a random variable with exponential distribution in this case, it follows that 1 minus e to the power of lambda x is also a random variable. Step 3, we need to solve the equation f of x is equal to r for x in terms of r. So after solving, we'll get x is equal to 1 by lambda minus 1 by lambda ln of 1 minus r. This equation 1 is called as a random variate generator, which is important. If we had to, students, we have to remember this formula to solve the problems for the exponential distribution, right? So let us see a small example for with this problem. So the question will be given like this: generate 5 random variates for the sample data. Has given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 random variables using exponential distribution. Once you see this exponential distribution, as I said, this formula we need to remember. That is, any random number will be generated using this 1 by lambda ln of 1 minus Ra, where lambda is the mean already said, Ra is the ith random number. So he has given mean is equal to 1 and he has given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 random numbers. So we have to use the formula for exponential distribution, that is xi is equal to minus 1 by lambda ln of 1 minus r. So using this, so r1 for first number, that is the first random number given. So lambda is 1. So if you are going on substituting, you will get xi value is this one. So the simplification, the procedure I have said here, 1 by 1 because lambda is 1. First random number r1 given is 0.030. If I substitute, if I simplify, I will get the first xi value as 0.3566. So similarly, I will be getting from x1 to x5 all the 5 numbers. So now after completing that, we will come to the second one, that is a uniform distribution. So for a random variable x that is uniformly distributed on interval a comma b, we can guess like a reasonable guess for generating x is given by this formula, that is x is equal to a plus b minus a by r. So we need to remember this formula to solve the problem, students, on uniform distribution. So where what is a, what is b, so I will tell you. So the PDF of x is given by 1 by b minus a if x lies between a and b, 0 otherwise. The CDF is given by 0 if x is lesser than a, 1 if x is greater than b, x minus a divided by b minus a if x lies between a and b. And the second step is we need to set f of x is equal to x minus a divided by b minus a is equal to r, and we have to solve this in terms of r to get this x is equal to a plus b minus a by r, a plus b a plus b minus a into r. So let us see a small example, small problem. So generate 5 random variates using uniform distribution technique. Last time was we have solved the similar problem on exponential. He has given 5 random numbers. Similarly, now he is giving another. He has given the same 5 random numbers here. So not same actually. He says we have to use uniform distribution technique, and he has given the interval where x lies between 0.3 and 2. So therefore, a will be the first value, the first interval will be 0.3, and the second point of the interval will be 2, that is b. By seeing this, I have written a is equal to 0.3 and b is equal to this. So as we know the formula of this uniform distribution, xi is equal to a plus b minus a into r1. So using this, I will be getting xi values, right? Where a is what, 0.3, and b is what, 2, and where r1 is the first random number, r2 is the second random number. If I go on solving, if I go on substituting that, so I'll be getting these xi values. Very simple problems. Now the next one, third one being Weibull distribution. You have to remember the same thing, how to get this formula. So in the Weibull distribution, the PDF, that is the probability density function, is given by f of x is equal to beta divided by alpha to the power of beta x to the power of beta minus 1 into e exponential power minus x by alpha whole to the power of beta if x is greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0. F of x will be 0 if it otherwise, right? Where alpha is greater than 0 in the scale parameter and beta is greater than 0 is the shape parameter. There are two parameters here, alpha and beta. Alpha is the scale parameter and beta is the shape parameter. So the CDF is given by f of x is equal to 1 minus e to the power of minus 1 into x divided by alpha to the power of beta and we need to set 1 minus e to the power of minus 1 x divided by alpha to the power of beta to r. Then if you solve r, it will give the x value as alpha, and 1 is minus ln of 1 minus r to whole to the power of 1 by beta. So this formula we need to remember to solve the problems, right? So let us solve a simple problem. Generate 6 random variables using Weibull distribution with slope 10 and shape 2. So already I have said that there is scale parameter and shape parameter, right? Uh, the shape parameter is 2, that is beta, and scale slope parameter is 10, right? So slope is nothing but alpha. So I will write it as slope also here. Yeah, slope parameter is alpha, and shape parameter is beta. So alpha is given 10 and shape parameter is given as 2. So I will substitute in this formula for first random number. Ri means first random one for the first one, second random some second one. Just if you need, we need to remember this formula, and what is alpha and beta, what are the given values. So we have to go on substituting that, we'll get all the xi values. So very simple problems. So now another one, empirical continuous distribution. uh, Sampling of the data from the sample data is a systematic manner is called a empirical continuous distribution. In the first step from this procedure, we need to arrange the data from the smallest to the largest, that is in the ascending order. Then we need to compute the probability. Probability is given by 1 by n here. The next step is to compute the cumulative probability, that is E of I is equal to I by n, where n is the interval, and we need to calculate a slope, that is A of I is equal to xi minus xi minus 1 divided by 1 by n. These formulas are very important. This is for without frequency, and if with frequency is given, then ai is equal to xi minus ei minus 1, xi minus 1 divided by ei minus 1, where e is a cumulative probability. So let us solve one problem so to understand how to use these formulas. Consider the data. He has given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 random numbers, and the probability is equal to 1 by n, he says, where x naught is equal to 0.25. See, these are the numbers given. This is the first number he is telling, x naught. With the slope of ith line segment using empirical continuous distribution method. By seeing this, we should be very careful. We should understand that we need to use a empirical continuous distribution without frequency, he is telling himself. So what is the first step here? The first step is to arrange the data from the smallest to the largest, that is in the ascending order. So let me arrange the data from the smallest to the largest. After arranging this, actually this is x naught, right? This is x naught. We have arranged this data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 numbers we have arranged, right? And let me write here, and x naught he has given 0.25. So therefore yeah, therefore this will become the arranged data values what we have. So after arranging the data, what we need to do, we need to compute the probability 1 by n. So where what is n now? It's very simple here. 1 by n. What is n value? How many values we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers here is given. Just check out here. Yeah, I value the first. So we need to arrange this formula. We need to use this formula. Xi minus 1 is less than x, is less than or equal to xi. So we need to take two numbers. This is the first number here, 0.25. So 0.25 and 0.45 we have taken these two. After that 1 by n, 1 by n, 1 by n is 0.14. How this it is 0.14, 1 by n. So let me take this. Yeah, 1 divided by 7 if I do, I will get 0.14. That's what I have used here, 0.14, because how many numbers he has given? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 he has given, apart from x0. X0 should not consider in n value is 7 here. So therefore, what is n value? So let me write here, n is equal to 7 because he has given 7 numbers. So after taking n is equal to 7, so I by n, I value is first number, we will get 7 cases, I 1 by 0.14 will be 0.14. So as I said, the formula is this one, for without frequency xi minus 1 by 1 by n. So xi minus xy minus 1 by 1 by n. What is xi? Xi is right now 0.45. You can just check out here. This is xi 0.45 minus 0.25 xi minus 1 divided by 1 by n. 1 by n is 0.4. So I'll get 1.24. Similarly, we need to take the next two numbers, that is, which are the next two numbers, 0.45 and 0.60. So for 0.45 and 0.60, 1 by n remains same, but what is I by n? I by n this time is 2 by 7. If I do 2 by 7, I will get because why 2? Because I value is 2 right now, and n is always 7 here. So 2 by 7, I will get 0.28. If I substitute that same thing in this formula, so I will be getting this value. Similarly, I need to go on doing substituting for all those things. So we need to draw a graph for this of 1 by n. This is I by n versus xi values, I by n versus xi values. So what are the I by n values? I by n values are from 0.14 to 1. So 0.14, I have taken the scale here 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 like this up to 1. And whereas xi values, where are the xi values here? You can just check out, these are the xi values: 0.25, 0.45, 0.60, 0.75, 0.83. These values I will be plotting on the x-axis. So if I plot this 0.2 to 0.22, what is the first xi value I have here? Xi value what I have is 0.25. So 0.25, 0. This will be 3 here, so 0.25. If xi value is 0.25, right, what will be I by n value? That is 0.14. So 0.252, 0.25 to 0.45. Where it does 0.45 gets here? 0.45. 0.25 to 0.45. Just you can see this. I have been joining these 2 points. So what is the event value? That is 1 by 1.42. This is 1.42. This is AI value. So this line indicates that is 1.42. Next to 2 points. What are the next to 2 points? 0.45 to 0.60. Uh, X value is 0.42 from here to 0.60 here. So what is the AI value? I'll get 1.07. So 1.07, this one. So I have plotted the graph. So you can very easily go through that graph. Simple. This is also the same graph. I have missed here x values. That's why I have redrawn one more time there. So similarly, this is with frequency. If with frequency is there, we need to also consider the frequency. The same problem that was without frequency. Now consider the data 1.0, 0.5, 0.20, 1.5, 2.5, and frequency are as follows. The respective frequencies of this data he has given. The line segment, slope of the line segment using empirical continuous distribution with frequency. So x naught is equal to 0.00. We need to assume ourselves because x naught he has not given himself, and e naught also we need to assume. As the same step, we need to arrange the data in ascending order with the respective frequencies. So again, we need to take 2, random numbers. That is, what is the first number? First number x naught we need to take 0.0. First number with these two, and the next number with these two, next number with these two. We need to do frequencies. We have to write down respective. Relative frequency is very simple. That is relative frequency in terms of points. It will be the decimal points. Cumulative frequency is 1 by n. So if I do 1 by n, I by n, sorry, I by n, I is 1, 1 divided by n. What is the n value here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. N value is 5 here. Okay. So you one second. N is equals to 5. Okay. So if I divide 1 by 5, I'll be getting 0.2. Okay. 1 by 5, I'll be getting 0.2. Is it 1 by 5? How much it is? I by 5, that is 1 by 5 half. I by n. I by n. N value is 5. N value is 5. Yeah. 1 second, please. Let me take the calculator. Yeah, 1 by 5 I'm getting 0.2. So that is right. 1 by 5 I got 0.2. Similarly, next time 2 by 5 will be 0.4. So just we need to substitute in this formula. So that will give our problem. And this is a plot of the graph. This is from the frequency 0.2. What is the first frequency we got? 0 I by n is 0.2. So this is xi value and this is I by n value. So what is xi? First xi we got xi is 0.02, 0.2. So 0.02, 0.2. This is the first, right? So the graph is also very simple in terms of frequency. We need to draw this. Now the next technique comes is acceptance rejection technique. The next technique is acceptance rejection technique. Suppose that an analyst needed to devise a method for generating random variates x which are uniformly distributed between 1 by 4 and 1. One way to proceed would be to follow the following steps. Step 1, generate the random number r. If r is greater than or equal to 1 by 4, accept x is equal to r. Then go to step 3. If r is less than 1 by 4, reject r and return to step 1. If another uniform random variate on 1 by 4 comma 1 interval is needed, then repeat the procedure beginning at step 1. If not, you can stop. So in the acceptance rejection technique is used for generation of random variates for Poisson distribution and gamma distribution. So we'll see how acceptance rejection technique is used for Poisson distribution and gamma distribution now. So let us see the first part, that is acceptance rejection technique for Poisson distribution. Sometimes he may say directly only Poisson distribution. So we have to remember that it is a acceptance rejection technique for Poisson distribution. So what does this Poisson distribution acceptance and rejection technique is all about? Let us see. A, a random variable n, sorry, a Poisson random variable n with mean alpha is greater than 0 has a PMF, that is a probability mass function. Pn is equal to Pn, where capital N is equal to small n, is equal to e to the power of minus alpha and alpha to the power of n divided by n factorial, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on. N can be interpreted as the number of intervals from a Poisson arrival process during 1 unit of time. Then time between the arrival in the process are exponentially distributed with the rate alpha. The interarrival times, let us say A1, A2, dash, 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 successively of successive customers are exponentially distributed with the rate alpha. Alpha is the mean number of arrivals per time. So we know what is the arrival of a customer in a system, right? There is a relation between it, the discrete Poisson distribution and the continuous exponential distribution. What is that relation is? When capital N is equal to small n, capital N is equal to small n, if and only if the summation of all interarrivals are lesser than or in between 1, then the summation of all interarrivals uh, uh, of n plus 1 customers, that is a1 plus a2 plus dash 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 up to an is lesser than or equal to 1, which is lesser than or equal to a1 plus dash 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 up to an plus 1. So this above thing I can write it as a summation of I from 1 to n, because an is the last one here. Ai lesser than or equal to 1 is lesser than or equal to summation of ai from 1 to n plus 1, because the last number is n plus 1. This I can write it as the first part, this part, that is a summation of ai from I is equal to 1 to n. I can replace with the summation of 1 from n. 1 is equal to minus 1 by alpha ln of ri, we know this, lesser than or equal to 1, and this one is same, but summation will be from I to n plus 1. So this will be correspondingly equal to this summation notation. I am just replacing with pi. So the procedure for generating the random variate for n numbers is as follows. For n variate, step 1, we need to set small n is equal to 1 and the probability p is equal to capital 1. We need to, second step is we need to generate a random number rn plus 1. Rn plus 1, this I should actually make it as suffix. So let me make it as suffix. 1 second. Rn plus 1, and let p, what is p? P is equal to the present value of p into Rn plus 1. Yeah, Rn plus 1. Fine. Fine. Now third step is if p is less than e to the power of minus alpha, then n is equal to n is accepted. Otherwise, reject n and increase n by 1 and return to step 2. So let us see, if I solve a problem, this procedure will be very much clear. It's a very important problem, and now most of the times it has been asked for 10 marks. Very easy. So let us see one example. This program, I think so, this problem has been asked many times. Generate 3 Poisson variates with mean alpha is equal to 0.2 for the given random numbers. He has given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 random numbers. This question has been asked for 10 marks. It's very easy. So let us see, according to this, first we need to set n is equal to 0 and p is equal to 1. So let us do that. Let set n is equal to 0 and p is equal to 1. P is the probability. Initially the probability we need to set to 1. Now R1 is the first random number given in the process, that is 0.4357. So similarly, as I said, initially I said Rn plus 1. N plus 1 is the nothing but the nth number, and p is equal to p plus Rn plus 1. So we can take this as n instead of n plus 1, but both will be same. N or n plus 1, not an issue. Okay, R1 is equal to 0.4357, which is the given first number. Similarly, p is equal to p into r1 that is that 1 into 0.4, this will be 0.4. Now the third step is we need to check. So shall I make this as rn so that students will not get confused. Let us see whether rn or r plus 1, because sometimes r0 will be given, then we need to take r1 from the first number. That's the problem. Okay, so if I take r1, we got r1 value is 0.4357. So we need to check whether 0.437 is lesser than e to the power of minus alpha. E to the power of alpha value is given 0.2. E to the power of 0.2 will be 0.8187. That definitely here 0.4357 is lesser than 0.8187. If that is the case, then we need to accept n is equal to n. We need to accept n is equal to n. Therefore, we are accepting n is equal to 0. Correct? Yes. Because yes, now this should be n plus 1 only, because the first value we have taken it of n plus 1. The first value what is taken as n plus 1. Now here n is equal to 0. Why means n is equal to n. N is equal to n. Correct? You can see here, accept n is equal to n. If this is n plus 1, that is the first number, n is equal to small n will be what? 0. Correct? That is small n is equal to, this is what? 0. This will be 0. Now repeat the above procedure for the next random number. Correct? So I need to repeat the above procedure for the next random number. Okay. So when, very important point to remember, when the number is accepted, that is when p is lesser than e to the power of minus alpha. If this is true, then we have to accept the number. And while after accepting that, we need to set n is equal to capital N is small n is equal to 0. So we need to repeat the same procedure for the next random number, that is R2. Right? So I have written it here in the bracket. For acceptance, n and p remains the same. for the next step, only R will change. That means what, we need to take the next random number. After R1, we need to take R2. Same thing, same process. Let n is equal to 0 and p is equal to 1. Let n is equal to 0 and p is equal to 1. R2 is given as what, 0.4146. So I written p is equal to p into R2. So we'll get 0.4146. So 0.4146 is also lesser than e to the power of minus alpha. What is e to the power of minus alpha? 0.8187. So we need to accept that also. So n value remains same. Again we need to repeat the same step. See, this is step 1, step 2, step 3. For every random number, 3 steps will come, whether it is accepted or not accepted. If it is accepted, n value remains same, p value remains same. If it is rejected, so there will be a change. Let us see that. So next, for the next random number, again 3 steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Next, for the next random number, what is the next random number? 0.8353. So let us see. Again same thing. Set n is equal to 0, p is equal to 1, R3 is equal to 0.8353. So same formula, p is equal to p into R3, 1 into R3. This is 0.8353. So now let us check whether the p value is lesser than 0.8187. No, the p value this time is 0.8353, which is not less than 0.8. So now we are rejecting that. Once we reject, now n value will change from 0 to 1 now. If it is accepted, n value remains same 0. Once it is rejected, n value will increase, that is n is equal to 1. After increasing n value is equal to 1, there is another change. P value will also be, previously what we are taking p value as 1. Once it is accepted, we are taking p value as 1 only. You see here, p value as 1. Now once it is rejected, n value is also changing. Now p value is also changing. Now same thing, we need to repeat the above procedure for the next random number, that is R4. But you see the change. What is the change? For rejection, n value is increased by 1. That is from 0 it will become 1. And p value will remain. That is, p value will change. That is, p value will be the latest value of the rejectance. Last time what was the latest value of p? P was 0.8353. That will be taken in the next number. Previously what we used to take? We used to take p is equal to 1. Now this time p value, the last value for what random numbers have got rejected, that value will be carried forward to the next step. So now for the next random number R4, now we will see here, last time n is equal to 0 we used to take, now we are taking n is equal to 1, because last time it has got rejected, n has changed. And p we used to take 1, now p will be taking the last previous value of the rejectance. This is the change. Again the procedure remains same. Apart from that, the procedure remains same. What is that? R4, the fourth random number given as 0.9952. You can just check out. The fourth random number given as what? 0.9952. Same procedure is repeated for the fourth number. So we will calculate p. So p will be this one, 0.3. Again we will check. This is also not lesser than the e to the power of minus alpha. Again this is rejected. Once it is rejected, now n will be again increased by 1. Previously the n value once rejected was 1. Now 1 plus 1 it will be 2. Now new n value will be 2. And the p value will be the latest p value. What was the p value for rejectance? The p value for rejectance is 0.8312 for the next number. That is for R5. P value will be this one. This one, 0.8312, and n value is 2. Same thing again, it will be repeated by taking this value. Now you see 0.652 is lesser than this one, so that will be accepted. Once it is accepted, n value will not change. So n is equal to 2. The same procedure what I have done, I have tabulated here. So n value, once it is 0, 0, 0, 3 times it was 0, we got Rn plus this value, and p value is this. So we accepted 2 times, then it got rejected in the third value here. You can just check out. It got rejected here, 0.8357. This table also carries mark. The scheme of evaluation you need to write. So this was not lesser than that, so it got rejected. Even not lesser than, if it is equal to also we will reject. We need to note that. Next value was also got rejected. Now final value got accepted for n is equal to 2. This was for n is equal to 1, 1 here. So I missed here, n is equal to 1, please write it. So this is the same process. Okay, now we'll see another problem based on this acceptance rejections using Poisson variate. Same thing, a problem, generate 5 Poisson variate with mean 0.2. So last time the same question, generate 3 Poisson variates with mean he has given, but he has given the random numbers himself. A very important point to note, he has given the 5 random number himself, but here he is telling us to generate 5 random variates with mean given, but random numbers he has not given. Once he has not given random numbers, so we need to assume the random numbers. So once we are assuming the random numbers, so I have made it as star. We need to keep in mind the random numbers whatever we are assuming to demonstrate the acceptance and rejection procedure. It should be between 1.1/4 to 1. So whichever the random numbers we are taking, that random number should satisfy the property. Whatever the random numbers we have, that should be from, it should satisfy, the number should be between 1 by 4 to 1. So these numbers, whatever the numbers I have taken, they are definitely from 1 by 4 to 1. So definitely these numbers are lesser than or equal to 1, and they are greater than or equal to 1 by 4. You can just check it out. And not only this, you can take any numbers, just this number should be satisfying this property. What are those property? The number should be lesser than or equal to 1 by 4, and it should be lesser than or equal to, in between lesser than or equal to 1. All these numbers you can just check it out. These numbers, 5 numbers I have taken randomly. These numbers are these numbers will satisfy the property, that is they are between 1 by 4 to 1. So that is the only change. After that, I have taken e to the power of minus alpha, I calculated, and n is equal to 5 because I have taken 5 Poisson variates. The procedure is same for all the numbers. So for the values whatever I have taken, all the numbers have got accepted here. So if you take different values, sometimes it may accepted, sometimes it may got rejected. So it depends upon the numbers what you are taking here. But whatever the numbers you take, you can take any number, that number should be between 1 by 4 and 1. That you need to keep in mind, right? So here I have demonstrated the same process, same procedure, all got accepted. So this is a table. So that completes the chapter, that completes the topic, acceptance rejection technique for Poisson distribution. There is a final topic, one more topic from this module, from this chapter, that is acceptance rejection technique for gamma distribution. So we need to remember some theoretical part of this. Something, these are like some of the, actually this subject normally are from this is of most of the things are research based, all the paper from the research papers, these are the things. So we need to remember. So gamma distribution is one of the more efficient acceptance rejection technique. This is given by Chang for any value of the shape parameter beta, which is greater than or equal to 1. If the shape parameter beta is an integer, say b is equal to k, one possibility is to use the convolution technique, because the Erlang distribution is a special case of the more general gamma distribution, right? On the other hand, the acceptance rejection techniques described here would be a highly efficient method for the Erlang distribution, especially if beta is equal to k, were large, right? So the routine generates this routine generates gamma random variates with a scale parameter. You need to remember these parameters. What are these wordings? You need to remember. There are two parameters mainly, that is scale parameter theta and shape parameter beta, right? The mean will be 1 by theta and the variance will be 1 by beta into theta square, right? So the steps are as follows. We need to compute a. What is a? A is nothing but 1 divided by 2 into beta minus 1 whole to the power of half, 1 by 2, and b is equal to beta minus ln 4. So this is ln 4, and we need to generate two numbers r1 and r2, and we need to set b is equal to r1 divided by 1 minus r1, right? 1 minus r1, and we need to compute x, capital X, which is beta into v to the power of a. If x is greater than b plus beta a plus 1 into ln of v minus ln of r1 square into r2, then x is rejected, and we will return to step 2 to compute next. So if x is lesser than or equal to b plus beta plus 1 ln of v minus ln of r1 square into r2, then we'll use x as a desired variate. The generated variates from step 4b will have the mean and the variance both will be equal to beta. If it is desired to have mean 1 by theta and variance 1 by beta theta square, right? Step 5 is nothing but we need to replace x, capital X, by x divided by beta into theta. So let us see one problem so that we can understand what is this procedure, how to generate random variates uh, using this gamma distribution technique in the acceptance rejection. So the problem is like this: generate 5 gamma variates. By seeing this word, we should understand we need to use gamma distribution here. Using gamma distribution with the slope, so these two parameters I already said, slope parameter and shape parameter. With slope beta is equal to 2.30 and mean theta is equal to what? 0.4545 for the given random number. So he is telling himself that consider this random numbers. What are the random numbers given? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 random numbers he has given. 0.4357, 0.1806, 0. 1508 0.8353 0.11202 0.8004 like this. So he has given 10. So let us see the solution. As I said, the procedure is very simple. What is that? A and B need to be calculated first. So let us see. So given beta is equal to 2.30 and theta is equal to 0, himself he has given. Now formula how to calculate A already said A is equal to 1 by 2 into beta by minus 1 whole to the power of half, right? So I am writing that, and B is equal to the formula 2 beta minus ln 4, 2 beta minus ln 4 plus 1 by A, 2 beta minus ln 4 plus 1 by A. So I have missed here 1 by A, 2 beta into ln 4 plus 1 by A. And what is x? X is beta into, here it is there, x is beta into, let me check out. Okay, this one, beta into v to the power of A. So what is v? V is r1 by 1 minus ra. So if I replace this, x is beta into r1 by 1 minus r1 whole to the power of A. So that we are doing here. X is equal to beta into r1 divided by 1 minus r1 whole to the power of A. Now we will check whether x is lesser than or equal to b minus ln, this one here, b plus ln r1 square into r2, r1 square into r2. That's what we are checking. So then it will be accepted. The new value of x will be x divided by beta into theta. That's what we said here. Replace x by x is equal to what? That is x will be what? X divided by beta into theta. Okay, let us see the simple things. So we'll substitute what is given value of beta and theta we have. So we'll get a is equal to this and b is equal to this if we substitute in this formula. Then we'll find out what is r1. So we require this, in this value we require r1. So what is r1? R1 is the first random number given in the process, correct? So r1, what is r1 given? First number 0.4357. So I am substituting that. So to give to get the value 1.4080. So x value what I will be getting is this one by substituting in this formula, this one. So after getting that, now fourth thing we will check what will happen, like whether x is lesser than or equal to b minus ln of r1 square into r2. That's what we are checking. So we'll check here. So yes, what is x value? 1.40, which is lesser than this. So hence it is accepted. If it is accepted, the new value of x will be x divided x. The new value of x will be x divided by beta into theta. So the new value of x is equal to x previous value of x, that is this one, divided by beta into theta. So the new value of x will be 1.3469. If it is rejected, the value of x will remain the same thing, this one only, right? Now it is accepted. So the new value of x is this. Oh, that is for the first random number over. Now similarly for the second random number we will take same thing. A is the same, and a is what is the value of a we have here? The value of a is 1.8953 and value of b is this one. Same thing, a and b remain same. And now r1 and r2 for these two numbers are different because we need to take the next two numbers, correct? The first two numbers we have taken for 0.4357 and 0.1806, right? Here r1 was the first number and r2 was now for the next two numbers, because we require r1 and r2 for x. So the next two numbers will be we need to take these two numbers, that is these two are over now for r1 and r2. Next, for the next step, this two we have to take, that is important. So let us take r1 as next to two numbers, that is 0.1508 and r2 as 0.8353, because these are the two numbers given, the next to two numbers. So after taking the next two numbers, we will do the same process. If it satisfies this condition, so that here also it is satisfied, correct? So we are accepting that also, accepting, and once it is accepted, the new value of x will be 0.892. Same thing, the process goes on, right? So the same value we are written in the table, tabular form, r1 r2. So this completes actually the module 3, from which I have completed totally 4 modules. So students, kindly submit the assignments on time. I will be giving the assignments on these questions from this chapter. All the problems I will be giving. So all the best. Kindly don't waste your time. All the best.